Hello world and welcome back to another video on DC Legends. This is Daniel and with me as always is...
Maddie, here to have some fun on DC Legends.
Alright, so today we are going to be doing a L1G10 character review, and as you can see, today's character review will be on Siren, the assassin of the deep sea. So, but before we do that, Maddie, how does the L1G10 character review intro go?
L1G10 character review.
Alright, I like it. Nice little intro music there. Alright, so we're going to take a look. This is now the second in our series of L1G10. You voted, and in the comments that you left in the last one for Reverse Flash, we had a lot of people say, I want to see an L1G10 character review on Siren. And so here it is. Fortunately, we actually have her at an L3G10. So this will be the L3G10 character review within the L1G10 series. Alright, so first thing we always like to do is take a look at the power set of the individuals. But before we do that, Maddie, give us your thoughts on Siren.
Siren, she can be very handy because she is a bleed 3-star legend.
Yeah, she applies those bleeds, doesn't she?
Yeah, she is very good, and I really like her because she bleeds and she's really good at it.
Yeah, she's a very good character, especially whenever it comes to applying bleeds. She has some pretty good strength. Her speed is not too bad. She's at a 108 whenever she's maxed out at her G10 status, at her Gear 10. And so if anybody's out there wondering if this is one of your first videos, what an L1 means, we're talking about on the right-hand side on the bottom, you'll see the purple stars there. L1 means a legendary level 1. We actually have enough to take her to a legendary level 4, but we don't have enough of the essence gems to be able to do that just yet. And so whenever we get enough of those, we'll be able to get those the legendary gems. We're 5,000 away from being able to take her to an L4. So, and G10 talks about the gears on the upper left-hand corner. You can see that those are all maxed out at level 10. So once you get your character to a level 60 or higher, you're able to take them to a Gear 10. All right, so we just took a look at the powers that you can max your character out at whenever they reach that G10 status, that Gear 10. And so now let's go in and take a look at the superpowers that she has available to her. The first one that you can do, her basic attack, gives damage to an enemy and applies 4 bleeds to a target if the target is bleeding. And a 40% chance to use the dagger, the second one here, the dagger deluge, on the target if the target is bleeding. So this is a very good attack. I can tell you that this attack alone, whenever it processes the second one, has taken out many characters in what basically becomes a one-shot kill. So the second power that she has is damage to an enemy and apply 4 bleeds to a target and 2% true damage per bleed on the target. The next one is her AoE attack. This is light damage to the enemy team and a 5% increased damage per bleed on the enemy team with a max of 100%. And it applies 1 to 2 bleeds on the enemy team. The last one here is a passive ability that gains evasion up whenever an enemy takes bleed damage and 15% chance for extra evasion up. And so this is, you go through, you can continue to upgrade that to where she has a higher chance to gain extra evasion ups as you go through. So very, very strong character, and we like her quite a bit. We use her a lot as well. So as far as the legendary power order that we did, we started off, and this was the first one that we decided to do. We put it on her basic because this gives her a 40% chance to process her second move, which is this one. And for me, we did this one first, and then because of that, we immediately did this one second. What this did was apply 1 to 2 bleeds on the enemy team, and then this is usually going to be the attack. The AoE attack is the first move that you do with Siren in every battle. So like I said, this is number 1, this is number 2, and this became our third one, and this applied 2 true damage per bleed that's on the enemy that you attack. This is going to be the fourth one that we do, because once we upgrade it, it gives us a 50% chance for the evasion up to last an extra round. And so that can really make the difference in the long run, because you start to stack up those evasions and they last even longer. There's a 50% chance for them to last even longer. Finally, whenever you can upgrade the second ability 2 times, you'll see that it will give Enrage to the target. Just to be honest with you, I'm not a big fan of the Enrage debuff. It is kind of just like applying a silence. There's nothing wrong with it, but I'm just not a big fan of it. I'd rather have the 50% chance for the evasion up. So one more time, we'll go through here. This is the one that we applied first. This is the one that we applied second. This is the one that we applied third, and you can see that it has a second chance to upgrade again. This is the one that we will apply fourth, and then we will finish it off by applying this one fifth if we ever get to a 5-star point. So, as far as resources, how should you allocate your resources? Like I said, this is the first move that we always do. So I took the time to at least get this one up to a level 4 first, because at that point you get plus 10% damage. And then we started upgrading this one as well to at least the level 7, so that you can apply that second bleed on there as well. Then after that, we did the same thing here, where we upgraded it all the way to at least a level 6. And then this is actually, you can see that we maxed out this one. We got this one to an 8 out of 9, got this one to an 8 out of 9, and we still haven't finished upgrading this one yet. But once you get these 3 upgraded and kind of maxed out as best you can for your level, that's really where she becomes extremely strong. And I recommend upgrading her to at least a level 62 so that you can max out this AoE attack, because you can see once you get to the bottom there, you increase your damage by 10 more %. And so I think that that makes a big difference, and you can max her out at level 8.
I just really like her.
I do too. I think that she is a really good character. And so what I think we're going to do now, Maddie, is we will show them some of the best team compositions for Siren. So let's go in there right now, and we will see what some of the best teams look like for Siren. All right, so for me, this team has become one of my new favorite teams to use against the standard meta that you see out there, which has Supergirl and Reverse Flash and Castaway Green Arrow and Wonder Woman Dawn of Justice. This allows me to apply some bleeds. It allows for Siren to hit them quickly and apply bleeds to everyone, and then Cheetah can process her passive ability and give strength ups as we go through. So this is a really good team that I use quite a bit in PvP to get some wins. There's always going to be, when you talk about Siren, you talk about a bleed team, and right now there's not a whole lot better as far as bleed teams go than this one right here. Dr. Poison will give you your strength ups. Kimmo, even though he is who he is, he still does a good job with his bleeds. And then of course Cheetah as the team lead, and Siren as well. If you wanted to do a different kind of bleed team, you can always put... Here he is. You can always put in Aquaman, and of course you always want to have Cheetah in there somewhere. So that is also a very good looking bleed team as well. That can do a lot of damage.
Ooh, let's take that.
Yeah, and so this one here is also a really good one. This gives you some affinity diversity. This is what I call my AoE of death. So all of these characters have the ability to do AoE, so if you come up against somebody that does either a stun or that can do a taunt is what I'm trying to say, not a stun, but if you come up with some teams that like to taunt, like the new Superman that they've just upgraded, you can still get past his taunt and still apply AoEs to the entire other team with a team like this. So I think that is probably the best description that we have for Siren. I think it's time for us to now go take her in and take a look at, before we take her into some PvP and PvE battles, she is one of the characters that we did take into our power rankings, and so quickly we'll give you her power ranking scores as well. So for Siren, she scores a 34 out of 40 on our power rankings. And so as far as the way that we have upgraded her, we graded her at a 5 out of 5 on offense, for PvP and a 5 out of 5 on defense for PvP. She scores a 3 out of 5 for unique ability and a 3 out of 5 for team compatibility, all on PvP. She also scores a 5 out of 5 for offense on PvE, 5 out of 5 for defense on PvE, 4 out of 5 for unique ability, and 4 out of 5 for team compatibility for PvE. So one more time, for offense, that's a 5 and 5. For defense, it's a 5 and 5. For unique ability, that's 3 and 4. And for team compatibility, she gets a 3 and 4 as well. So with an overall score of 34 out of 40. So let's now go in and take a look at Siren, and we will take her in and do a couple different battles. We'll start off with some PvE. So let's go in here and we'll do a PvE battle, and we'll take her into, I'm trying to see which one of these upgrades I need more of. I think this one is probably going to be the one I need most. Yep. Alright, so we're going to do this battle right here.
How about we go against a hard and also an easy team?
Alright, so then what we're going to do here is we'll probably show this team. This is the AoE team, and then whenever we go into PvP, we'll try to show this PvP team. So for right now, we will show this one. I would show this one, but we just don't have anybody. Well, I guess we do have. Well, we don't really have many of those upgraded. So, like I said, we'll go ahead and do this PvP team. Or, sorry, we'll do this one for the PvE, and then we'll go into PvP and use the other team that I like to use quite a bit. All right, Maddie. So, yeah, I think Siren is one of those characters that was a free character about, I guess it was 2 or 3 months ago now. And so she has been one that you don't see her fragments in the shop very often, but whenever we were able to get a lot of her fragments in the free battles, we really kind of we were able to upgrade her quite a bit. Alright, so like I said, this is the AoE team, so I'm going to start using some AoEs. Alright, so here's your first chance to see Siren. Real easy for her. Use those AoEs again. Alright, no reason in using any of her other ones just yet. We'll wait till the final round here. You can see what she looks like doing her basic attack. Alright. So let's go in and try to get rid of some of these characters first. Sinestro bringing them back once again. Alright, so like I said, this is usually the first attack that I do. This will apply some bleeds to Sinestro. So you can see what she does here. Her AoE attack. Very good. Applying those bleeds. I want to try to do some basic stuff so that we don't get rid of him too quick. I want to try to show you a couple more things with Sinestro if we can. Okay, well, maybe not. Alright, so let's go in and do some PvP because the teams that we have are pretty strong. So let's now go in and show you some PvP with Siren.
Siren, she is very good.
She is very good. She's one of my favorite characters since she came out with
A bleed.
yeah, whenever she started at the same time that Aquaman did, and now we utilize both of them. Alright, so let's go against one of these harder teams here. One of the AoE teams. Right there. This is a plus 18.
I have a question for you, Dad.
You have a question. What's the question?
When was the first time you ever in your life saw Siren?
Siren is actually not one of those very popular comic book characters. I mean, I guess if you read a lot of Aquaman, she's a pretty popular character, but I didn't ever really read much Aquaman growing up, and so I knew about her in comics, but really the first time that I started to really like her was because of DC Legends. And so even though I knew of her in the comic books, she was not one of the characters that I knew much about and didn't really spend much time reading up on. I knew that she was the sister of Mera, who is Mera is the wife of Aquaman. But that's all I knew of her. So let's go ahead and try out this team here. This looks like a good team. This is usually the kind of setup I would like to use this team against anyway.
So the first time that you saw Siren was on DC Legends?
Well, the first time that I really started liking Siren was with DC Legends. Yes, that's true. All right, so first attack here. Always go after their red. All right, and so here's the power of this team. You start by strengthening them up with Cheetah.
Let me guess, the first time that you saw Siren was on comic books?
Yes, on comic books, for sure. All right, so this is where you really start to see the power of the team, because we're going to start by applying a bleed, and the bleeds are on there now, as well as a stun that's applied as well. So here's the first time that we will see Siren do her thing. So she'll do her AoE against this team. And so fortunately, she's going to apply a bleed to everybody. And what that does for us against Superman is that actually puts a buff on him. And so that makes it to where he can't process his leader ability. So again, really good for us. All right, so let's go ahead and I want to keep this game going a little bit longer. So we're going to do some basic stuff here to make it last a little bit longer. Oh, too late. All right. Let's see. Put some bleed on him. There we go. And we'll go ahead and buff everyone. Alright, so now you see over here that she has started to get some evasion ups. And those evasion ups are there because other people have taken, I think it was Wonder Woman Dawn of Justice that took some damage from the bleed. And so because of that, that gave her those evasion ups that are very, very important to her success. So I'm going to do a basic attack, but it won't really matter because of how strong she is. She's going to take them right out.
I know my daddy. He likes to read comic books.
I do like to read comic books. That's kind of my thing. I like comics. And that's kind of the reason why we like to do DC Legends, is because it's some of my favorite comic book characters ever. Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman.
Yeah, and because of you guys. You guys really put a lot of comments about me.
Yeah, y'all guys are really sweet to us, and so especially to Maddie. And so as her dad, I appreciate all the comments that you leave for her.
So we be nice to you back.
Of course, we're always nice to the viewers here. All right, so let's go in and let's do another Wonder Woman. Or we just did a Superman. Let's do a Wonder Woman this time. All right, so this is definitely going to be a harder team to go against because they've got two reds against ours, and so. But we're gonna go ahead and take our chances anyway. This is a plus 18, so it's not going to be easy at all.
And a Wonder Woman.
And a Wonder Woman, yep. So definitely is not going to be an easy win. They've got the affinity advantage on us here.
Do them have a reverse flash? It looks like it.
They do have a reverse flash. Alright. Oh, that's not what I needed to see.
Do you need to win this battle?
Well, this is without the affinity advantage. I probably shouldn't have done this team against. This is not normally who I would have used against them.
Because I'm hard.
Well, because we don't have the affinity advantage in this one. Alright, so let's go ahead and do what we would normally do there. Hit them with the AoE. No, you're right. Alright, and so you see right there, that is what makes her so strong. She just got two evasion ups, and because of that, she's been able to protect herself. And now she has even more evasions because of the damage that they're taking with their bleeds. So very, very good. Alright, so let's try to help ourselves out here a little bit. And I'm not going to touch, I won't touch Reverse Flash because he has a bleed on him. He's going to allow himself to just bleed out here. So let's protect our characters with Aquaman. All right, now hopefully we'll be able to see her process her second one. I'm going, instead of doing the second attack, I'm going to do the first one and hope that she processes her second one. She didn't, but didn't have to either. So now look what happened. Now she's at the point where she's got a bunch of these evasion stack ups. So that's the true power of Siren, is her evasion ups. Alright, so like I said, this time I am going to use, you know what, no I'm not. I'm still going to use the first one and hope that it processes the second. Didn't have to. So, even though we had the disadvantage of the evasion, or excuse me, they had the affinity advantage on us, we were still able to win because the bleed team is that strong. And really, the MVP of that was Siren, because she was able to evade a couple of those tragic, the game-changing evasion that she has, was able to avoid some of those game-ending hits that would have happened from the arrows. So let's go ahead and do one more on the video tonight. Let's see who they have. Like I said, that's not usually one that I would use this team against. I actually wish that we had one of the metas here so that we could show you. I was able to win this one. On the bottom there, we're using this team. I was also able to win that one using that same team. So, I guess we'll go ahead and just take this team against one more of the arrow teams, unfortunately. As much as I don't like to do that. But we'll go ahead and try it against this one. Alright, one more battle on our L1G10 character review of Siren. And so if you have any questions about Siren, or why we decided to do the order that we did, then leave us a comment and let us know, and that way we can help to figure it all out together. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and strengthen up our team here. And I don't want her to have a chance to do her AoE on us. Alright. And he just barely stayed in this. And there you go. That is the reason why I love to have this bleed team that we have. Look at the strength ups that she just gave the entire team. That passive, whenever it hits, it can be a game changer. Ooh, she is strong. Alright, Siren, your turn. Gone. Let's go ahead and stack up the bleeds on him. And there it is. That's what it looks like whenever she processes her second one. Look at the bleed stack on him. And it didn't hit her. And there she goes processing again. Love it. And he is Gonzo. And that's probably going to do it for our L1G10 character review of Siren. So, Maddie, there's always 3 things we want people to do at the end of our video. What are those 3 things?
Subscribe.
Subscribe to the channel.
Drop a like.
Drop a like.
And leave a comment.
And leave us a comment on Siren. Let us know what you think about her. Is she one that you use a lot? And the most important comment that we want you to leave is, now we've done a L1G10 character review for Reverse Flash. We've also now done one for Siren. Who is next? Who would you like to see us do next on our L1G10 character review? So we'll go in here real quick. We'll show you the characters that are eligible for the L1G10 review. Let's get in there real quick.
L1G10 character review.
That's right. All right, so you can see them here. Like I said, we've already done one for Reverse Flash. We've just done one for Siren. Do you want to see Flash? Do you want to see Castaway Green Arrow? Or do you want to see one for Captain Cold? Or we just saw how good Cheetah is. Do you want to see us do one on her? There's a bunch of characters here that we can do an L1G10 review of. So, I would recommend taking a look at everyone that's on the screen right now, all the way up to here. And there's a bunch of different options that we can do an L1G10 review of. All right, so like we said, leave us that comment. Let us know who you'd like to see next on the L1G10 character review. And until next time, you have a great weekend and enjoy time with your family. And so, Maddie, is there anything you want to say to the people at home before we go?
Bye, and thanks for watching. God bless you. Have a good night. Hope you have a great day, and don't forget to drop us that like. And I want Cheetah.
And you want Cheetah, okay. So that's one vote for Cheetah already. Leave your vote so we know exactly who we should do next. And you heard her.